I'm Dan Hernandez. I'd like to welcome you to this week's episode of Sport Fishing. Well, today we're fishing aboard the Malihini. We're on a day trip here, and I got a fish going. We just got some fish going right now. Just a day trip. We left at H&M Landing a couple hours ago. We're only a couple miles on the Coronado Islands. We got fish going. So stay tuned for this week's exciting episode of Sport Fishing. I'm Dan Hernandez, and I live to fish.
All right.
I have been fishing along the Pacific coast my entire life.
Oh!
Let me bring you in the action and share with you some great fishing tips along the way.
My name's Captain Bill Wilkerson, owner-operator of the Malihini. I've been in the industry 30 years, 30 plus years actually. I am taking Dan Hernandez and his group out today. We're going to in search of bluefin, yellowfin, and dorados. We're going to have some fun. Check us out.
I want you to watch your spool, okay? That's all I want you to look at. Make sure when you're coming up, you don't lose line. When you're coming down, you're getting line. All I want you to look at. I got your fish, all right? Nice, Dad.
Fishing with Dan Hernandez on the Malihini.
Malihini madness. Just like that, bud. When he gets to the surface, don't get him above the water, all right? Get your rod tip straight out. Force him to the center. Yeah, buddy!
Woo! Nice.
Brad's on with a fish here today. Trying to get it in. I need to get this line on.
So Brad's got a fish going on here. This is pretty rare. When you think about tuna fishing, you think of being on a boat for like 2 days, 3 days, something like that. This is a one-day trip. This is a full day trip. Leave at 6 a.m., get back around 6 p.m. We already got some tuna on the boat. Let's follow Brad, see how he does on this fish.
Look it up. We're good. We're good. You're crossed. You're crossed. Drop your gap. There you go. Lift up nice and slow. Lift up nice and slow. Hold it. Good job.
Yeah, it's a good size one.
Nice.
Nice bluefin tuna.
All right, nice bluefin on the Malihini on Dan Hernandez's Sport Fishing with Dan Hernandez. Excellent. Chris, thank you.
You're welcome.
Frankie, come on down me, bud.
Right.
On this area right here. Got it, Mr. Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Where are we, bud? Coming around the bell. Ma'am, can you ride?
Take the rod here. Take the rod, put it underneath that. Just take your time, okay? Just take your time. Now you're gonna lift up slow. Now wind, stop. Lift up slow. Lift slow. Now wind down. Stop. Lift up slow. Trust the run, don't do anything. Trust the run. Lift up slow. There we go.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Come on, baby. It's all good. That's what it's about.
Oh, man.
Behind you, Vegas.
That's what it's about.
Yes. First one on the Dan Hernandez Malihini.
That's right here. Good fish, buddy. Good job.
All right.
That was all you, man. Good stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
I didn't.
Change your baits, guys. Change your baits. That was a fresh bait. 30 seconds. It was first fish, so I'll let it play. Next one on, buddy.
First one.
Come around the corner, coming around the... Ooh. All right, right there. Stay where you are.
Fishing with Dan Hernandez, baby, on the Malihini with Captain Bill. That's what's up.
What up? Woo! I had to work that bait a little bit. I ran that bait back to the boat, put it in free spool. I gotta work my way to the corner. Coming through. Brad, I'm under you.
Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, here's my fish. There's my, ooh, nice sized fish. There we go. Yeah! Beautiful yellowfin here fishing with Captain Bill and Malihini. The guys here, Brad's on. Let's take a little break from the action here for the Malihini and show you the rods and reels you need for this type of fishing. This week in the tackle box, we're going to go looking for tuna. And because we're going tuna fishing, you have to come prepared. You never know what you're going to catch out there. It could be that smaller school grade of fish, that 15 to 20 pound fish. Could be the bigger fish, 40 to 60 pound fish. And then often lately, the last couple of years, we've been seeing that fish 100 to 300 pounds. So you got to really be prepared for all of that. I know it sounds like a lot of gear, but if you don't have the gear, one good thing is all the landings now are renting out gear. So don't feel like you have to buy all this, but I want to show you what you should bring with you. Now, just in case you get into like smaller yellowtail or dorado or that smaller tuna, school-sized fish, something small like this will work out great for that type of fishing, but only that type of fishing only. That smaller fish, under 30 pounds, this works out fine. A 400 size reel, 25 pound mono, 25 pound fluorocarbon on top, nice medium to medium heavy rod, works out great. If you start getting into that bigger fish, and you will find those bigger fish, you need to really step up your gear. So something like this is a good basic rod and reel to have. A 2-speed reel, again with like 60 to 80 pound test line. Normally I'm going to take a reel with 25 on the bottom end, another one with 30, another one with 40 or 50, another one with 60 or 80, and probably one more with 100. So this would be my next step up. But I always bring extra reels too. So some of the reels I'm talking about, something like this would be great for that medium size. Something a little bit bigger or the same size, you could go with like a 2-speed. This is a 16S. 2-speed works out good. And then for the larger fish, you want to have at least a 30 or 50 2-speed reel. And you want to take this reel and pin it up on a rail rod, a heavier rod, where you can fight the fish right on the rail. And that's what this is here. It's built and designed for just resting the rod on the rail, turning the handle, taking advantage of the swell of the boat, and getting those bigger fish in. And I would match this up with the largest reel you got, and that's what you'd be using. Now, as far as hooks, you want to bring a selection of hooks. Remember, you never know what kind of bait they're going to have. Small anchovies, sardines, maybe mackerel. So have a selection of hooks from size 2 to size 3.0 at least. maybe even a 5.0 if you have some. And then for the artificials, you want to have some bigger jigs. The small 4.5 ounce will work out good for the school-sized fish and those bluefin that are right up on the surface. The heavier ones, like the 10-ounce magic metals, for dropping down deep at nighttime fishing, works out good. Make sure you also bring your flat falls and your knife jigs. You want to have a selection of those too. And they all have to be rigged up for tuna fishing. If you're not sure about having the right gear, make sure you call the landing. They have it all available there. Your local tackle shop will have it too. And on the boats, the guys will be glad to help you out, help you rig up your gear and show you what you need. But for this type of fishing, you have to bring a wide selection of gear. I know it sounds like a lot, but it is, and you have to be prepared. All right, let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action right here on Sport Fishing. Those fish we got earlier today, it was in the morning, now it's early afternoon, and we've made a move a few hours, and these are all tuna pens here. So right now the boats are working in the tuna pens, and lots of times when they're doing that, they're feeding the tuna that are in there. Sometimes other tuna will swim by and hang out in the oil and stuff that these fish are letting out. So that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna fish around this area for a little bit and see if we can get us some fish. And this is part of tuna fishing. The old days, we used to do a lot of this tuna pen fishing. You can see the crews working there on the boat, and they're working on the pens. So I don't know if they're feeding them or they're doing maintenance or what they're doing. Maybe they're pulling a few fish out for the market. I'm not really quite sure what they're doing right now, but lots of times when you get in this area where the tuna pens are, you can find some tuna, and that's what we're doing. Well, let's take a little break from the action and go to the galley and show you how to cook up one of these delicious fish we're catching today. This week in the galley, we're in Long Beach, California at San Pedro Fish Market. Standing next to me is Chef Frank, been kind enough to do it just for us. And today, Chef, you're gonna do yellowtail for us?
Yeah, you brought me some awesome yellowtail. I'm really excited about it. It smelled amazing. It was firm flesh, so my brain instantly went, let's do yakitori.
All right.
Because it's fun, it's easy to eat, and I think people can do this at home. It's not too hard.
So how do we get started?
So all you need is a grill. I have them on these little skewers here, and that's really just so I can turn things a lot easier. Just gonna lay them right nice on the grill. Then once they're on the grill, I'm gonna brush them with a tare. Tare being like the Japanese word for sort of a barbecue sauce. This one happens to be made with dried shiitake mushrooms, some different whole spices. I'm just gonna dab it on there. It's got a lot of sugar in it, soy, some rice wine vinegar. This is gonna make them kind of sticky, kind of like ribs.
Change the taste of the fish a lot?
A little bit, but not too much. I mean, I think
Just adds a flavor
it
to it.
adds a nice umami bite to it, you know? Yellowtail tends to be really firm and hold up to a lot of things. So, and they're cut pretty small, so they should cook pretty quick.
I like the way it adds a color to the fish.
Yeah, it's gonna make it this like rosy, sort of deep mahogany, right? When we go to flip it, you're gonna see when we flip it back the second time, it's gonna be nice and glazed, sticky. And it should only take a couple of minutes aside because we're not really trying to go all the way done. We want just a touch of, you know, medium rare-ishness. So our fish has been grilling for a couple of minutes now. It's time to flip and we're gonna glaze again. So we're gonna keep doing this over and over until you get a desired temp. You got these nice little char marks coming on now. So dab off your brush. You don't want your brush too overloaded. And I'm just trying to get that mahogany color, that soy, that umami flavor all up in this. So in my tare for this fish, traditionally like tare for a yakitori would be made with chicken bones, but I don't think that really fits with fish that much. So I wanted to make something that's really umami forward and a little bit spiced. We're starting to get into fall, so things like clove, star anise, cinnamon, these dried shiitake mushrooms, a little bit of rice wine vinegar, soy, some sugar, really add a nice unctuousness to already really savory fish like yellowtail, and just push it to be even more exciting and even more flavorful than it already is. Flip them again. We've done 3 flips, 3 glazes. These are about done. I don't want to overcook them, so I'm going to pull them now, and we'll finish them up when we go to plate them up. They smell amazing. So we've got these, the yellowtail you brought me, pulled off the grill. It's been glazed. It smells incredible. We're just gonna lay these on a plate real quick. And we do this with swordfish from time to time in the restaurant. And then this is like it's like a chili crunch, you know? And this a little goes a long way with this guy. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of chili oil just to bring in some heat. So this is our chili crunch. It's really easy to make. It's some neutral oil, some chilies, some garlic, some shallots, and you just kind of fry it all up, pour it over the spices, and it's not gonna be super hot. It will have some heat, but it adds a nice fullness to a dish that otherwise would just be one note.
Well, Chef, I gotta try this.
Yeah, dude, yellowtail yakitori.
So is this like a main dish or is this more like an appetizer?
It's kind of like a small plate. You would find it on our happy hour menu or in the appetizer section.
Chef, that's delicious.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And I like how you take a basic fish like a yellowtail, add the chili, add some oil to it, and it just gives it a whole new flavor. And those grill marks are just so beautiful on there.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's like eating at an izakaya, but with yellowtail that you caught. It's great.
Thank you, it was really good. We're here in Long Beach, California at San Pedro Fish Market with Chef Frank. Beautiful yellowtail dish. Hope you guys liked it. It tastes delicious. Well, let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action right here on Sport Fishing.
Remember, stay at the rail. Stay at the rail. Stay at the rail. Lift up on your rod. Lift up on your rod. Your rod is straight out. Lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. Right. Oh, Bill, you're sick.
Yeah, baby! Woo! There we go, baby!
I'm on him, on him. Stand up.
Fishing with Dan Hernandez, baby, in the Malihini with Captain Bill.
What up, Mom?
Deep color. I got deep color over here. One side. Coming down, guys. Coming down.
There we go.
Excuse me here. Coming down.
Yeah. Slow, hold it. Stop. Nice yellowfin tuna. Woo! Come on over here. Check that yellowfin out, guys.
All right.
Dan Hernandez.
Dan Hernandez, Malihini with Bill here, Captain Bill. Thank you.
Right on. Another yellowfin for our day.
How's it going, guys? Here with Dan Hernandez. Always a good time.
All right.
Look at that one right there. That's a good one.
All right.
Look at that.
Great fishing with Dan Hernandez and the Malihini.
Yes, sir. Getting them on the fly line, guys.
No need to post.
There we are. Yellowfin tuna. Fishing with Dan Hernandez on the Malihini.
Guys, I want to show you how to pin on a bait. A lot of this type of fishing, tuna fishing, comes down to having a good first bait, and you can't leave your bait on the line for a long time. If it's out there more than a minute or two, you got to wind it in and get a first bait. And being successful at tuna fishing starts right here. So when you grab a live bait, you don't want to reach into here, you want to reach right here. So we see all the baits. You want to get a good lively one, the ones that are swimming really well. See this one here that's all red, scales on it. This is the kind you don't want to use. All those red marks on it, that's not a good bait. So this one, we wouldn't even use it. But here we got some good lively ones. Grab one. When you grab it, slide your hand underneath it, nice and lightly. and just put the hook right in front of the eyeballs. Normally we would use a much larger hook, but the fish are really picky, so a small hook. Today we're using size 4 hooks, and that's how you would do it, just like this. Then you walk over to the rail and you cast it out. Make sure when you're drifting like this for tuna that you're on the right side of the boat. What I mean by that is you want to fish with the wind in your face, and the slogan is, wind in your face, you're in the right place, wind in your back, nothing in your side. So again, when you grab the bait, slide your hand under the bait. Don't hold it too tight. Just pin the hook right here in front of the eyeballs, and that's the way you do it. It's a proper way for pinning on the bait. All right, let's take a little break from the action, and when we return, I'll be giving you this week's tip of the week. For this week's tip of the week, I have Captain Bill here from the Malihini, got us on the fish today. And I tell you, this week's tip, Captain Bill was telling us, you have to fish that light line. 20-pound test, fluorocarbon, and a small hook.
Yes.
That was the trick, it seemed like it.
Yeah, it worked out really well. You know, I went down, when we found that bigger school of bluefin, I went down to 15-pound and didn't get bit. Just told me they weren't gonna bite.
Right.
And then when coming back up, we found that other school, and we were preaching, change your bait, guys. Change your bait, change your bait, change your bait. You soak that bait for 1 to 2 minutes. If you're not bit, wind it in and change it out and do it again.
And that's this week's tip. Captain Bill did a great job. His whole crew was wonderful. We had lots of fun fishing with him. He's got a great crew here. If you've never been on the Malihini, never did a one-day trip, and I don't mean an overnight, just leave at 6 a.m., back at 6 p.m., and catch some tuna, come try a trip with Captain Bill here on the Malihini.
Yes, sir.
Captain Bill, thanks for having us, man.
Thank you, Dan. Mahalo.
I'm Dan Hernandez, hoping you enjoyed this week's episode of Sport Fishing, and I hope you join us again next week as we go looking for more of the best in sport fishing. Thanks, man.
Oh, no problem, bro.